FMU, you're on the air.
Beatles fail.
What?
Beatles fail.
Beatles fail. I don't even know what that means.
Well, you delivered one.
How so? Me being at the convention?
This is something, well, yes, but something about what you said you saw there?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say you saw White Album 1015?
Yeah, like 00, a bunch of zeros, and then 1015.
There's no way. No way that was there.
Really?
Yeah.
And why would that not be there?
Because I know who has it.
You know who has that number?
Yes.
Like that specific number?
Absolutely.
Who?
Alan Suze?
Alan Suze?
Yeah.
From Laughing?
Absolutely, yes. You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
But you're a Beatles fan.
Yeah, I am.
Like, well, geez.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that's debatable at this point.
Well, is that a known thing? Who has each of the White Album numbers?
Pretty much, yeah. Sounds like you didn't deserve to be there.
I didn't deserve to be at the Beatles convention.
Yeah, I don't know what you saw, but it certainly wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw what I saw.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that I think I'm going to stick by what I know I saw. And,
really?
Yeah, and we'll just have to agree to disagree.
Oh, okay, I guess we'll agree to disagree.
Uh-huh.
No matter how wrong you are.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right, well, you have a great night.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay. Wow. FMU, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hey, what's up? I actually played the Beatles Fest about 2 or 3 years ago.
You played it?
Yes.
You were one of the bands in the Battle of the Bands?
Yes, I was in the Battle of the Bands.
What song did you do?
We did Free as a Bird. I have no idea why we did that, too. It was really just a bad experience.
Like, you're getting hustled up there?
Well, like, I don't know. We were actually planning to do Strutter by Kiss to sort of just, like, ruin the whole experience for everyone.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to ruin it for everyone?
I mean, it was just like a bunch of like, everyone there is, I don't know. They were
having fun.
Like, all the other bands were like, all these stage parents were just yelling at these kids, and I was just being really disillusioned. So I was like, we should just play Kiss songs.
Yeah.
And then we went up there and we're like, no, we have to play what we rehearsed, and it was just really bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sounds like it was. I'm gonna say that's completely your fault.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It just was a bad song to do too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much. I don't think you could pick a worse song to do. I don't know.
That's what you were saying to we wanted to just do another song or something, and the other guy was like, oh no, we got to do Free as a Bird. And then it was funny. The guy that was at the mic was like, oh, every time I hear that song, I cry, except for that time. I thought that was pretty funny.
Wow, that guy shut you down.
Yeah.
You got shut. Look, that guy's not exactly Don Rickles, and it sounds like he did a pretty good job putting you in your place.
Yeah, I know, but you know what happened though? It's pretty funny.
What?
The guy from the Hudson Brothers liked it and wanted to meet me. Mm-hmm. And then we just left right after though. We were like, "Oh, that was so dumb. Why'd we even do this?" But then the girl that got us on the gig or whatever.
The gig.
The gig,
You might want to go easy on calling that a gig.
It really wasn't a gig, I know, yeah. But the girl that got it to us, she said, oh, man, the guy from Hudson Brothers is friends with my dad, and he was really upset that he didn't get to meet you guys because he really liked it so much. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That, the guy with the rainbow beard.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Right?
Not really, I guess.
Well, what other gigs you got going on? Anything else?
I don't know. I haven't really played the show since September 2008, but we played Death by Audio and stuff. That was cool.
Well, you're as long as you're having fun with it.
I am.
I don't like the smirk in your voice. I don't like the smirk in your voice. You hear the smirk in that guy's voice, Mike? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? And then we did the thing, and we were totally going to mess it up and just play a Kiss song. Because everybody's there just enjoying themselves. and we wanted to take that away from them. Sickening. Sick. I don't like it. Don't like it. Hey, here's a question. If you're traveling on a train, right? Like a longer train ride? On like an Amtrak train? Do you need to be able to get on the intranet? What do I need? If I have a Mac laptop, which has Airport. Do I need something else? I need like some kind of modem I plug into it? Do I need that? Do I need additional stuff? (201-209-9368). It's the best show on WFMU. What's that?
This large man just forced his way past me.
Okay, well, yes?
Hi, we spoke on the phone.
I'm sorry?
We spoke on the phone about the White Album.
Just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you're here physically.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?
What am I... Well,
like you're like 2 feet away. I mean, you're 2 minutes away.
Well, I was on a Beatles prowl.
Uh-huh.
And I heard you talking.
Uh-huh. Well, why don't you talk into that mic?
And into this one here?
Yeah, that one.
Oh God, you know what this reminds me of? This mic.
What's that?
Let It Be cover.
Reminds you of the cover of Let It Be.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. You good?
I'll be better once I show you something.
Uh-huh.
Revenge is sweet.
Revenge is sweet.
It certainly is.
What is that you're flipping through?
Oh, it's just a book.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Who is that right there holding a copy of the White Album?
Is that Alan Sue?
It is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I can't make out exactly what... He's holding it up in this picture.
Yeah. Look, it's...
Is that the... I mean...
It's 1015.
Really?
It's indisputable, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of can't see it that clearly.
Well, it's real. Do you have something to say to me?
Thanks.
No. Well, thanks, yes, because I imparted great wisdom to you.
Well, actually, I don't know why I would thank you since you barged your way into the studio uninvited.
Well, we left that hanging.
Wait, what did we leave hanging?
The whole question of whether or not I was in the right and you were in the wrong.
Well, no, we agreed to disagree.
I couldn't leave it at that because I know I'm right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, who are you?
Shut up.
Well, no, not shut up. Who are you?
You're a Beatles fan, right? And you live in New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Then you know who I am.
I have no idea
You
who
do,
you
too.
are.
You must have seen my license plate somewhere around Newbridge.
No.
Beetle Boss 1?
So you're Beetle boss?
Yeah. Pretty much the boss of all the Beatles fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen your car.
Come on.
So who are you?
I'm Beatles Milt.
Beatles milk?
I make Beatles milk.
I don't even want to... I'm not even going to touch that one. Beatles Milt.
Beatles Milt.
Uh-huh.
Milt Mortner.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
You know, Milt Mortner, actually.
See?
Yeah, that actually
Check
rings
out
a
the
bell.
spine of the book.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the name of the book is...
Excuse me?
Milt... Yeah, it says Milt... It says... Yeah. By Milt Mortner.
That's right.
So you actually are known by that to where you would put that...
Absolutely, yeah.
Mhm.
That's just one of my books.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how many Beatles books do you have?
53.
You 53 that you've written 50?
I don't own 50. Well, I do own at least 53, but I've written 53.
You've written 53
Beetle
Beatles. Oh, 53 Beetle books.
Yep.
Like any that I would know the titles of?
Oh, well, if you're a fan, of course you do. Inside the Beatles by someone who was really there.
By you?
Well, I wrote it, but it's based on a lengthy interview that I did.
Okay. With who?
This guy named Sean Collins.
Who is Sean Collins? I mean, that's not a name I know in the Beatles lore.
I'm having serious doubts about your Beatle fandom. If there were Beatles fan privileges, yours would be revoked right now.
You'd revoke mine because I don't know who Sean Collins?
Yes.
I don't know who that is.
He was only the janitor at Abbey Road.
Yeah.
So you did a lengthy interview with him?
Absolutely, yeah. I did it on his deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was about to die.
Uh-huh.
He did die eventually.
So you wrote a book called Inside the Beatles.
Inside the Beatles by someone who was really there.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what other books are in the 53?
Well, that book that you were I showed you.
Yeah.
Whiteout.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the cover of the White Album by someone who was actually there.
Mm-hmm. And who was that?
Well, I interviewed Richard Hamilton's assistant, Craig Troy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Also on his deathbed.
Uh-huh.
He didn't actually buy it at that point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he actually lived, but we had a lengthy interview.
About the cover of the White Album.
Yeah, everything that went into it and the thought processes, the numbers, the numbering.
Yeah. Well, how long was the book?
Pardon me?
How long could a book be about the cover of the White Album?
Well, it's right there. You know, that's like. That's,
this is the one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I couldn't tell because it's like white on white.
Well, that was.
Oh, now I can see. If you hold it up to the light,
exactly.
You can see it actually.
You got to work for it.
Yeah. Sorry, it's actually. I see your name.
Yeah.
You know, Milt Beetle, Milt Mortner.
Well, that's in black. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on black. But it just says here in like that kind of white on white. It says on the spine, whiteout. The behind the cover. I say it again. It's
hard to read, isn't it?
This is very impractical for a book.
Well, if you're a true fan, you know it makes sense.
Whiteout.
You obviously aren't.
The behind the cover of the White Album.
Behind the cover of the White Album by someone who was actually there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see how it says that. Okay. So you wrote this. This is a book with the assistant of the guy who did the.
That's right. It's 400 pages.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's Real Music, the story of the Hard Day's Night world premiere by somebody who was actually there.
Real Music, like, is that like a play on words, like real REEL, like Real Music?
Oh man!
Because it's the Hard Day's Night movie.
No, it's REAL.
You did so you didn't.
That's a great idea, though.
So what? I'm sorry that one eluded you. The play on words.
You're not going to steal that from me, are you?
I'm not. Well, technically it's my idea, but I'm gonna let that one slide.
Okay, thanks.
So
I'm thanking you. You're not worthy.
Who was actually there for the Hard Day's Night movie premiere? The movie premiere?
Yeah, at the Hammersmith Palais.
Okay.
Yeah. The projectionist. I did a lengthy interview with him on his deathbed.
On his deathbed?
Yeah.
A lot of deathbeds.
That's when you get the best stuff. And these guys are all about to croak, too. You know, so we got to get these guys while they're still breathing. Or they go to hell.
That's a little... they go to hell? I don't know.
Some of these guys have done some insane stuff. I got to sit through that stuff to get the juicy bits about the Beatles, yeah. What I do is I pretend I'm a doctor. And then, that I'm there to ask them some questions about how their medication is working, how they're feeling, etc. And pretty soon I'm asking them about the nitty-gritty about those Beatles. Yeah.
That is the most gruesome thing I've ever heard.
Wait, that's exactly what several of the family members have told me.
You mean, I'm assuming at a point, you're not asking medical questions anymore. Now you're asking about... They're wondering why some doctor is asking their uncle or grandfather about what it was like running the projector for the premiere of A Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, you got to slide it in though. You're talking about Reginald. How is the pain medication is it working to your satisfaction? Mm-hmm. I think it is.
Oh, jeez.
That's great. Can you tell me how many actual reels you had to spool up that night at the Palais? Were there any problems that you can think of? Did you have any contact with any of the Beatles? I don't remember. And you got to make that into something a little juicier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that is the most gruesome thing I've ever heard. A guy shaking down people while they're in the hospital, posing as a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
So that you can find out some weird little footnotes about the Beatles' history.
Oh, you got to show me some respect.
Well, I'm just going to say, why should I show you some respect after what you just said you do?
Because, like I said, I'm the main Beatles know-it-all, boss, fan, number one.
Number one.
Your boss.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, basically.
So as a Beatles, somebody who likes the Beatles, you're my boss.
Absolutely, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think you like them, though.
You don't think I like them?
Doesn't sound like it.
Why is that?
It didn't sound like you deserved to be at that convention.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. Well, were you at the convention?
Define et.
Were you attending it? Were you in the crowd?
Not actually in the crowd. No, I was there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why were you not in the building?
Well, I can't actually go inside the convention, per the order.
The order.
Yeah.
Please tell me about this order.
Well, it's not so much a restraining order as a restraining suggestion. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This a restraining suggestion.
Yeah.
What is a restraining suggestion?
Well, basically, this thing says that I have to stay 30 yards away from any and all Beatles conventions in the states of New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Kentucky, and also Minnesota, and if there ever is one in Puerto Rico.
You have to stay 30 yards away.
Absolutely, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've had some negative experiences with the New Jersey Beetle fan organization.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what kind of negative experience have you had?
Well, they claim, this is their claim, that I had been selling questionable Beatles merchandise, collectibles. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like what falls? What would be an example of a questionable Beatles item?
Well, a hockey stick signed by every member who had ever been in the Beatles.
A hockey stick?
Yeah.
That all of by everyone who ever was in the Beatles,
Everybody.
not just the actual
Right.
4 Beatles.
Right, yeah.
Going all the way back.
Yeah. To Stu Sutcliffe, yeah.
You have a hockey stick, or we're selling a hockey stick that had Stu Sutcliffe's autograph on it, the original bassist.
Yeah, it was his first. Mm-hmm. See, here's how this worked. He was a big hockey fan.
Who was?
Stu
Sutcliffe.
You wouldn't think so, just by his history and the whole Backbeat film and all that.
Yeah, I would be. I'm a little thrown by by him being a major hockey fan.
Right. Well, huge fan. Of course, he died in '62. Mm-hmm. Loved hockey, and he got this stick. Mm-hmm. It was like a goalie stick, a big one, and he signed it somehow. I'm not sure why. I think just because, hey, this is mine. You know how you'll mark your name on something.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He signed it, and he passes on, and this guy in Liverpool who was a friend of the family, it falls into his possession, and he ends up getting Pete Best to sign it. I don't know why. And the stick ends up being bought by Bobby Orr,
the hockey player
from the Bruins.
Yeah,
he also used it, like just to practice with. He wasn't he wasn't a goalie, but he would just kind of whack pucks with it. And stuff.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting all of the Beatles to sign it.
Bobby Orr did.
Over the years, yeah, and he hated the Beatles. That was the weird thing.
So Bobby Orr hated the Beatles.
Yeah.
But he got them all to sign it.
He wanted to sign it, and to sign it for his son, who was a big Beatles fan, who also hated hockey.
Wow, so that's so the son hated hockey.
Yeah.
The dad hated the Beatles, but it's like a weird Beatles hockey stick.
Exactly, yeah, and they all hated each other. Apparently all the Beatles hated Bobby Orr.
Really?
Oh, they hated him, yeah.
Why would they hate a hockey player?
He would say weird stuff about them being English and stuff and all that, yeah. He was a bigger fan of The Who.
Bobby Orr.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Loved The Who. You know who else loved The Who?
Who?
Richard Nixon.
I've never heard that.
I've heard these tapes. You know, the missing 18 minutes of the Watergate tapes.
Yeah, from like 70.
Yeah.
What, two?
Yeah.
71, 72?
You know what's on there?
What?
He's talking to Kissinger about Tommy.
I've never heard that.
Oh, yeah. It's nuts. Yeah. I'll play it for his son. Nah, I'm not going to play it for you.
Well, this is just a series of shocking things that you're saying. So
you know why they also hate?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Who also hates?
Why they also hate me? The Beatles convention people here.
Why is that?
Well, several years ago, you know, as you were talking about, these kids were playing Battle of the Bands thing, like a talent thing.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
Well, yeah, awesome. Sounds similar to something I saw, where these kids were up there and they were doing oh God, what song was it? It was one of the Complete Puff songs.
Complete Puff.
I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They were terrible. Everyone was just like being completely forgiving of them because they weren't very good. It was like 11-year-old kids. So I get up in the middle of it, and I just like clamp them down. I grab each kid's neck of the guitar. What are you doing, idiots?
You went on stage.
Oh yeah.
And you just interrupted the performance.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like you chewed them out.
I did, and I grabbed each kid by the collar. They had the like Beatles jackets on. Grabbed them, and I just said, "You don't mess with the canon." No matter how bad that song is, it's not a bad song. It's not one of their better songs, though. You know.
Okay.
And I shoved them off the stage.
And how old were they?
Like 11.
Yeah. Well, you deserve to be kicked out of the convention.
Well, I just wish that one kid hadn't faked having a broken leg.
Faked it. You sure he faked it?
Seemed like he faked it. You can fake X-rays.
So I'm assuming there's maybe some legal thing played in.
Define some.
Well, you broke a kid's leg.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I didn't.
What did then?
I don't know. He tripped he was making a whole joke about it. Like I shoved him, and he was like acting like, "Oh, I'm falling," and he fell, and then that's what broke his leg. I guess, yeah.
Oh, not you shoving him.
Doubtful. Hey.
Yeah.
You didn't stop by my cart.
What, your cart?
Over the weekend, yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
Across the street?
No.
From the convention.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on. People had to be talking about it inside there.
Your cart?
Yeah.
What kind of cart did you have?
My Beetle Bites cart.
Beetle Bites?
Yeah.
What is a Beetle Bite cart?
Well, I sell Beetle-themed food. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I have?
What?
That no one else in the world has.
What's that?
I have the worldwide rights to sell Beatles wraps.
Do you mean wraps like the food? Wrap?
Yeah.
You mean you actually are calling your thing Beetle? What is it, Beetle Bite?
Beetle Bites, yeah.
Beetle Bites.
And these are Beetle wraps. Yeah.
And they're licensed.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just you calling a wrap
I own
Beetle
it.
wrap.
I own it.
How on earth do you own...
It's the best story.
Okay. I can't wait to hear this.
There's a loophole in the Beatles' worldwide merchandise contract. And for some reason, you know, they covered everything that could possibly bear their likeness, so that they own everything. They own the rights to it all. Guess what fell through those cracks?
Beetle raps.
Raps, yeah. It's great. Yeah. Do you want one? Come on, please.
I don't want to eat a Beatles
Come on,
rap.
eat my rap.
I don't want to eat a Beatles rap. Stop it.
Come on, please, here.
No.
Come on.
Okay. Oh. All right, hold on. What is this?
What do you mean?
Oh. What is... First of all, it tastes... It's like... First of all, I'm just going to back up for a second. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got to wash it down, right?
No. Let me just back up.
Yeah.
It looked like John Lennon, the thing.
Sure.
And it had like a little beetle wig on top. What was that made out of?
That's his hair.
Yeah, no, I know it, but it was horrible.
Oh.
I took 2 big bites. What was it? It tasted like it was like sweet or something.
Yeah. It's black cotton candy.
Black cotton candy on a wrap.
Yeah.
Why would you put...
It's nummy, isn't it?
Because it was all vegetables inside.
Yeah, yeah.
But why would you put cotton candy on the top?
Well, I couldn't figure out what else to put there, to make the hair. I wasn't going to use real hair, although I could, I guess.
But what was inside that thing?
Oh, you're probably tasting the aftertaste of the beets. I put beets in them because it's Beatles. Yeah.
Hold on.
But truth be told,
yeah,
they're not always that fresh.
Something was wrong. Like, what was...
Well, let me look in...
Here.
Yeah, those... See, they're green.
The beets are
The
green.
beets are green, and of course we all know that beets, when they start out, they're green, and then they get kind of purpley and et cetera, and then when they start to go bad, they go black.
Okay, yeah.
And then they turn green again. So you might have gotten them on that green end,
rather than the fresh green end.
Well, describe what's happening.
Like a churn in my stomach is just like it's like burning.
Right. Like acid, you got like acid stomach, but it's like real acid.
Yes.
It's like someone poured real acid in there.
Oh, that's the most disgusting.
What does your
thing.
tongue feel like?
My tongue?
Yeah.
Kind of feels like a battery, like dripping on a hot asphalt.
Write that down. I haven't heard that one yet. To put that on the possible side effects label.
That was
battery. Did you say it's like you're eating a battery, or
no? My tongue feels like hot asphalt.
Oh, asphalt. Okay.
Yeah, and there's like battery dripping down on it.
So like a battery asphalt,
like a car
melange.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, that was the worst thing I've ever.
Well,
why would you put a beet in it that was so bad that it actually turned from green to purple to black and back to green?
Well, I didn't really have time to really investigate and really look deeply into the stuff because I just made it back in time for the convention. So I just threw it all together.
Back from where?
Antarctica.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
Why were you in Antarctica?
Well, another crazy story. I have to basically the legality of this contract states that the only place I can actually do this legally from
the Beetle rap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With Apple Corp.
Uh-huh.
The only place I can actually have my office and be based is Antarctica.
Which is like a wasteland.
Well, pretty much, yeah. But I have to have an office there, which I do. It's like a little hut.
You have an office in Antarctica.
Yeah, it's terrible. But Apple calls once a month to make sure I'm there. And if I don't answer that phone, they shut me down because they want to shut me down so bad. They hate it.
They hate that you have this.
They hate it.
Well, I'm sure they do if this is the kind of junk you're pushing out there, like a putrid.
Some people love it.
So who loves this? This thing I took one bite and I feel like I'm dying from it.
There was one person who said he liked it, I think.
Well, it was disgusting. So you have an office in Antarctica.
Yeah.
That you are forced to inhabit once a month.
Yeah.
How do you know when to be there or whatever? You know when Apple's gonna check in.
I pay this dude at Apple. He doesn't. No one knows he's doing this, but he lets me know when they're gonna call. So then I have to book my flight with Qantas. Qantas does one flight a month down there.
One flight a month to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And they just land in Antarctica?
They land there. It's usually just me and like some scientist guys or something. And then I'll get off. There's one store down there. It's like a 7-Eleven, but it's like a German one. Have you heard of this thing?
No.
Sieben under Elben?
That's German 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's one guy that works there. His name's Chip. He's an all right dude. He stocks my favorite snacks and my favorite reading material.
Reading? What? Okay. I didn't want to know about your reading material.
Yeah, you don't. There's this one magazine.
Stop.
Have you heard about this magazine?
What is it?
Come here.
What? Stop. You told me...
You've heard about this magazine, haven't you?
You know, we're on the radio.
You're going to start thinking about that magazine tonight.
I'm not going to think about that.
You're going to call me.
I've heard enough people come through here and talk about the magazines.
Really?
I've managed to fend it off.
I'll bet.
So, Beetle Milt.
Oh, the way you say that made me so mad. It showed such disrespect.
And why again am I supposed to respect you?
Because I'm practically the fifth Beetle.
Beetle Milt.
Yeah. I actually once got into a fight with George Harrison's sister about that.
About you being
Well, I said I'm the fifth Beetle. She screamed.
Milt Mortner.
Yeah.
The fifth Beetle. I've never heard your name. I mean...
Well, she hadn't either when she screamed. Yeah.
George Martin, that's one thing. If he thinks, if that guy could be the fifth Beatle.
That guy's a clown.
So his sister
ruined those records. I could have done so much better.
His sister,
I do better on those records. I do my own mixes of them.
So when did his sister scream when she heard you were the fifth Beatle?
When I was in her bathroom.
What?
Yeah.
What were you doing in her bathroom?
Well, she lives outside of St. Louis. I was doing a little pilgrimage. And I wanted to meet her.
Yeah.
She wasn't home, though.
Okay. Yeah. So, naturally,
I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and that meant...
I go into the house.
Rather than going to a gas station.
There wasn't one that close. It was a couple hundred yards away. I really had to go that way.
Yes. Oh, okay. So you naturally break into a house.
It wasn't so much breaking in. No, I didn't break anything. I actually cut a little thing in the screen door.
And then what? Reached in and unlocked the door?
No, I just walked through the cut. I made the cut pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, you're a pretty big...
I wasn't going to bend over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look.
So I go in there. I'm doing. I do that. And I come out, and she's there. And I said, long story short, I'm the fifth Beatle, and she screamed. Yeah.
Well, I'm with her on that one.
Oh, you will show me respect.
I'm not going to.
You will.
Not with these things you're saying. Again, I said earlier, why should I show you respect? And then you start mentioning, because you basically broke into the bathroom of George Martin's sister.
George Harrison.
George Harrison?
Yeah. You know why you should show me some respect?
Why?
Because I'm the guy who drove Denny Lane to the convention.
You drove Denny Lane to the convention?
Yes.
From...
the airport.
From the airport.
Yeah, I picked him up.
I would have thought that one of the guys who ran the thing, I think it's what's his name, Bill or something like that. I think he runs the convention. Why wouldn't he do it?
From what I heard, he flaked. Yeah, he disappeared or something. I mean, those guys have so little respect for all of it. It's sick. I don't know what happened to him.
You don't know what happened to the guy? So the guy who's running the convention?
Yeah.
would flake during the biggest weekend of the year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows? For all I know, he got thrown into a tunnel or something.
Well, that sounded weirdly specific. Why would you say?
I don't know, or like a sewer or something. Yeah.
Again, I'm not following. Why? So, do you know something about why he wasn't there or not?
Define no.
Are you responsible for him falling into a sewer?
I didn't make him do anything. I was standing right behind him, and one thing led to another, and he fell, I guess. You know.
In front of a tunnel or a sewer.
Yeah.
So you just happened to be there when he fell and then went missing.
I don't know. That's what you're saying. He might still be there. Poor kid.
Yeah.
But Denny was cool.
Denny Lane was cool.
He was a decent guy. We really hit it off. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I'll tell you one thing.
What's that?
I did not cut him any slack. I grilled him. I really did.
You grilled Denny Lane.
Yeah, I asked him some really hard-nosed questions.
Like what kind of stuff?
Excuse me?
Like you like what did you ask him?
Oh, stuff like I asked him why he stuck with McCartney so long, if he felt he was being ripped off. Also, why his guitar playing is not that great on Back to the Egg. Why he hasn't really done much since he left Wings.
Wow. You asked him all those questions.
God, no. Are you kidding? What are you, nuts?
Hold on a second. Well, what did... You just said that you asked him all the hard-nosed questions.
No, I thought you said what questions were you terrified to ask him and would never, ever, ever ask him. I must have misunderstood you.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty big misunderstanding. The going from I asked you were like I didn't go easy on him. I asked him, and then all of a sudden it's like How could you make a mistake like that? That you thought that's what I said?
I guess I was thinking. I don't know. I guess I lost. I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying. I was actually thinking about that drive, and I'll be honest, I was really spooked.
You were spooked being in the car with Denny Lane?
Yeah, I mean it's he's one of the big ones.
Yeah,
I actually started foaming at the mouth.
In the car.
Yeah, I was driving. Yeah. And I
So he gets out. He gets into the car.
It's into the car, and everything's kind of cool at first, and then then the gravity hits me of who I'm with. And that's my mouth was wired shut or something, and I start foaming. I'm trying to look away so he can't see the foam.
Yeah,
I think he sees the foam. And then to kind of break the ice, I have this I have a Listen to the Man picture sleeve, 7-inch thing, and from Guatemala, and I pick it up and I want to get him to sign it, and I kind of show it to him, but I drop it, and it dropped between his legs, and I reached over in between his legs to pick it up, and he must have thought I was making some kind of move on him or something, and then he punched me in my hands.
He punched you in your hands?
Yeah, while I'm driving. Who does that? Who punches someone in the hands while they're driving?
Well, who fair enough, that's a fair point, but I'm going to say also who punches is a fair enough question. Who starts foaming at the mouth while pulling out some picture sleeve, and then kind of just start while driving? I'm going to still decide with Denny Lane on this one.
I hate that. I hate you.
Well, I'm sorry you hate me. I think you run a pretty shady. You're working a pretty shady corner of this whole thing.
You're like all these Beetle creeps. They don't dig me because I know the stuff that they don't know. Let's talk about my new book, all right?
You have a new book coming out.
I do. Yeah.
Not the White Album book or the book on that we talked to the projectionist of
so dismissive. I don't like it.
Of Hard Day's Night.
No. This is The Bomb.
The Bomb.
Yep.
What is The Bomb?
Well, it's called Agelblab.
What is the name of your book?
Aggleblob.
Aggleblob.
Yeah.
What? What is Aggleblob?
Well, it stands for this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Amazing. A grade A Beatles lid blower.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A grade A Beatles lid blower.
Yeah.
Aggleblob.
Yeah.
What a colossally stupid title. I just have to say, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Aggleblob.
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the book none of these Beatles zombies want you to read.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, why is that?
Well, it's stuff they don't know about.
Uh-huh,
They're embarrassed when I unleash this stuff, and they're like, "I didn't know that. Did that happen?"
So you're just. This is why they're mad
Absolutely,
at you.
yeah. My publisher is really excited.
Who's publishing this book?
Nexus?
Nexus.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it. Nexus Publishing.
Oh yeah, it's a big house. Yeah.
I don't know Nexus.
They do lots of titles. Very very diverse kind of books. Everything from self-help books, some textbooks. A lot of memoirs. This book called Mein Kampf 2, The Continuing Adventures of Adolf F. Home repair books.
Hold on. Wait, can we just back up a second? What was that book you said?
Well, there's a lot of memoirs.
No, I'm going to say after you mentioned the memoirs.
The self-help books?
No. Keep going.
Oh, the home repair books.
No, there's another one in there. I think you know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, the textbook about the math stuff?
No, not the textbook about the math stuff. The other book you mentioned.
Oh, Mein Kampf 2?
Yeah, Mein Kampf 2.
Yeah.
What was it? The Continuing Adventures?
Of Adolf H.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never heard of... Adolf H.
Yeah.
This is not real, is it?
Oh, yeah. It's totally real.
It's real.
Oh, yeah.
So he wrote a sequel to Mein Kampf.
I guess so. Yeah.
How big is this? Is it like taken from like quotes or like letters he wrote?
I think so. Yeah. It's very accurate. It's like, I think it's like 1,000 pages or something. Yeah.
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
This book. Did you write this book by any chance?
I don't remember.
You don't remember if you wrote Mein Kampf 2.
I don't know.
Which sounds like a total hose job to kind of get people like sickos to get them to who want to read more about Hitler. And what other this Nexus Publishing?
Yeah.
So you mentioned some self-help books and some memoirs and stuff,
right?
And textbooks. Yeah. Like do you know any of the authors of those other books?
Let me think. Well, yeah, there's some very respected authors. Dr. Milton Smith, a funny self-help guy, Milty L. Tompkins.
Okay.
And then there's a mathematician, Morton Miller. Mm-hmm. And then also this Dr. Morton Milner.
Which I'm noticing Milt, it seems to be a kind of a common theme through all those things.
Well, you can make the same point. I know that a very popular name I think in Vietnam is Nguyen.
Okay, so that's a common name common Vietnamese name. Milt is not a common name or Milton is not a common name in the English language.
Why are you trying to steer this away from the actual lid blowingness of this book?
Because there's a shady quality to this whole thing.
Well,
from Mein Kampf 2 to Dr. Milton whatever, and Milty something.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
You don't see
it. It feels right to me. Yeah.
Feels all right to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, okay. Fair enough. let's talk about something from one of the from this book, Aggleblob, which is again amazing. A grade A Beatles lid blower.
Yes.
Aggleblob.
Yeah. Well, as the title implies, it's a lid blower.
Okay. So what kind of stuff is in this lid blower?
Okay. Of course the Alan Parsons project stuff.
Alan Parsons was an engineer, I believe, on late era Beatles stuff, on like Abbey Road.
Absolutely, yeah. And little known fact, the Beatles actually got back together in 1977 to back him up on his album I, Robot.
I'm sorry? The Beatles?
Yeah.
All four Beatles?
Absolutely, yeah.
Played on an Alan Parsons project record.
All of it, yeah.
On the entire record.
Yeah, they loved his music. It was nuts. That was the one thing that they all agreed on that they loved was Alan Parsons.
Really?
But they were also really jealous of him, especially Paul.
Paul was jealous of Alan Parsons.
Yeah, Paul actually tried to kill him.
Really?
Oh yeah. See, Paul always wanted the Beatles to be an all-instrumental band.
Okay, I'd never heard any of that.
Oh yeah, and he thought that this tune "Nucleus" off of I, Robot was the greatest instrumental he'd ever heard, and he thought that's what the Beatles should have been doing. And he was like, if I had written that, we'd still be together. And they all kind of agreed on that. Yeah.
That the song "Nucleus" was like the gold standard.
Oh yeah, and they were also trying to get Alan to tour for iRobot, but he wasn't into it. He wasn't having any of it because he didn't think that they could sing well enough.
Alan Parsons didn't want the Beatles on this. He could have had the reunited Beatles touring on a thing, and decided against that because he did not think their vocals were up to snuff.
Yeah, he ended up getting a couple of the guys from the Two-Way Army. Yeah.
Which is Gary Newman's band.
Yeah.
I
have tapes of all this stuff. It's nuts.
Hold on. So you mean to say that Alan Parsons had a shot at the reunited Beatles, backing him up on a tour, but he decided to go with two dudes from Gary Newman's band?
No, he went with three dudes. Two-way dummy. Those guys were good, though.
Two-Way Army.
Yeah. I don't think George Harrison could have played that keytar stuff, as well as somebody in the Two-Way Army could have. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. And what other lid blowers do you have in this book?
Well, you know how Ringo does his all-star band every couple of years or so. Those tours that he does.
Yeah, the All-Star where he gets different people to back him up and they all play their hits.
Yeah, so he's got everybody in there, from like Todd Rundgren to, I think, Rick Danko to Joe Walsh, you name it. John Entwistle, I think.
Yeah.
Sheila E. That came about completely as a last resort. The original All-Star band. See, in 1993, he wanted to go on tour, Ringo.
Okay.
He wanted to go on tour with the Murder Junkies as his backing band.
G.G. Allen's band.
Yeah.
The Murder Junkies.
Yeah.
He wanted to back up. He wanted them to be his backup band.
When he felt bad that G.G. Allen, their leader, had passed on.
Yeah.
Earlier.
It was a tragedy. Yeah.
He was giving a concert, and I think he passed away that night.
I think he had done a concert, like a New York concert. Yeah. I think it was at a place called the Gas Station.
Was it? Yeah. What was it called?
I think it was called the Gas Station. I don't think it was an opera house.
Well, okay. Well, anyway, he was a big fan, and he wanted to, Is it paying it forward when you do a favor for somebody? Okay, not paying it.
That's paying it
it's
forward.
Not playing it forward. It's paying it.
Pay it forward.
So he wanted that, and the band was going to be those guys, and also a couple of guys from Anti-Scene.
Yeah. Another kind of.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be called Ringo Starr's Scum Bleep Orchestra.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
No one really did.
Yeah.
And I guess all the guys got into a big argument over food. Yeah, who's going to get the most food?
Food.
He wasn't paying them in money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was food.
So he's paying these guys, the murder junkies, in
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, so then that fell apart the last minute, and he ended up getting, I guess, Todd Rundgren and whoever else was in that.
All right.
Yeah.
I've never.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard that.
It's crazy. Here's what I bet you haven't heard either.
What's that?
The Beatles recorded an unreleased version of Abbey Road.
You mean like unreleased tracks from Abbey Road?
A completely unreleased version of it. Yeah.
How so?
Well, everybody, the ego's involved in this at this point. We're just insane.
The band was definitely splitting up.
Yeah, so everybody wanted to be represented to their most visible, the most visible extreme.
Okay.
So everybody kind of wanted to be the leader at this point. So what they agreed upon was everybody would play every instrument and sing every song at the same time.
Let me just process it. You mean all four Beatles?
Yes.
Would each play the full they would sing
for each track, each guy, and they would stack the tracks on top of one another.
Yeah.
So Ringo playing the drums.
Yeah.
John playing the drums. George playing the drums. Paul playing the drums.
Yeah.
It's one track. It's all together. Just like a
Okay.
mishmash of
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul playing the bass.
Yeah.
John playing the bass.
Yeah.
George playing the bass.
Yeah.
Ringo playing the bass. Stacked. Every song was like that. Guitar, keyboards, every instrument that was played on every song had to be played by each guy, and it was all combined for every song. Horrendous.
Yeah. It sounds terrible.
Terrible. Can you imagine Ringo playing lead guitar on I Want You? He couldn't play the guitar. No.
Wow.
It's terrible.
But they still recorded the whole thing that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've never heard
Never
that.
came out. I have it.
You have that?
Oh, yeah. I never played for you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
fair. I might not want to hear it.
I know what you do want to hear.
What?
This fact about Pete Best. This is an LB at its best.
The guy who was the drummer.
Pun intended.
The guy who was the drummer before Ringo.
The guy who was the drummer. Show him some respect. He's still out there doing it, playing live every night, smacking those drums.
Okay.
Of course, with the help of two other drummers.
Fair enough. I apologize to... Why am I apologizing?
Because that's what you should be doing.
Okay. Neither here nor there. Pete Best.
Yeah.
You said you had some...
I have an LB on him, yeah.
What is it?
Well, everyone always says he was kicked out of the Beatles because he wasn't a great drummer. It's not true. He was the best musician of all those guys.
I've never heard that.
Absolutely. I've heard tapes of the rehearsals. He's the best. He's showing them how to play the guitar. Never playing for you.
Okay. Again, I kind of don't want to...
Well, here's why he got kicked out. He scared those guys.
Pete Best...
He spooked them. Spooked them bad.
How did Pete Best spook the other Beatles?
He was a spy.
A spy?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean a spy?
He was a spy for British intelligence.
Yeah. And how... I've never heard that.
Oh, yeah.
So how did that impact him being a member of the Beatles?
Well, they came to rehearse one day at his mother's place where they rehearsed in Liverpool. And they open the door, and basically Pete Best is murdering a Russian agent.
So the Beatles walk in on Pete Best.
Yeah, and he's strangling this Russian guy. Yeah.
So that's scary. Well,
that would scare you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, these are sensitive guys too.
Yeah, they're musicians. And so that's why he got kicked out of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Because he scared them. They saw him murdering a Russian spy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've heard none of these things.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of stuff you haven't heard. It's like you're like all these other guys. I'm pushing the limits of Beatledom.
Okay.
Everyone's just like selling calendars and T-shirts and things. I'm cracking this wide open.
Like, how are you cracking it wide open?
Well, for starters, I am basically the owner of the first Beatles house.
What is a Beatles house?
And I'm selling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know any. I've never heard of a Beatles house.
Hang on. Can I get on your laptop real
Sure.
quick?
Yep.
Check this out. All right. Let it load real quick. There it is.
All right, here we go. What is this?
That's the Beatles house.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's like a it's like a house with a it's like a normal house, but it just says it has the Beatles logo on all the walls.
Well, click in the bedroom there.
It's like a bedroom.
Yeah, what's on the walls?
It just says the Beatles.
Yeah, over and over again.
And it doesn't even look. I mean, it looks like one of those like cheap stencil kind of things that you do with spray paint.
Hey, you're hurting my feelings. It took me a long time to do that.
To do what?
To make the stencil.
To make the yeah,
and then spray paint it.
So this is what makes this a Beatles house.
Yes, it does.
And how much are you selling this house for?
$4 million.
What's that?
$4 million.
$4 million.
Yes.
And where is this house located?
It's in Newbridge. Yeah.
What neighborhood?
I don't need to get into that.
Is it a good neighborhood?
Define good.
Like, what's the crime situation around it?
There's no crime at all. Yeah.
No crime at all?
No.
Well,
there's no people there either.
Okay.
No other neighbors. Yeah. It's the last house still standing before the stink pit. Kind of. It basically it's where the stink pit stopped. You know, when it opened up.
Sure.
And it took all those houses.
Swallowed a lot of houses.
And then it made them stinky.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one house that is still there.
So it's on like the stink line in town.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stink Line Heights. That's where it is. You know, I'm gonna smash you.
What?
You know why?
Why?
I don't like you. You're not showing me respect. And I'll tell you one thing. You're gonna be longing for yesterday when I'm done with you.
Oh, that's like a Beatles play on words.
It is, yeah. Yeah. You know why?
Why?
Because yesterday you didn't have a broken neck.
Oh, so you're now just into full threats.
That's not a threat. It's a fact.
So you're because I'm challenging you on these things. First of all, let me just back up. You're not a good person.
I'm a great person.
I gotta say, you're a horrible person.
I'm defending myself. You know what?
You're harassing people on their deathbeds.
Well,
some old guy who ran the projection.
He didn't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah. So, but you're posing as a doctor while you do it.
He seemed happy when he was talking to me.
You're shoving an 11-year-old.
I got him cigarettes too.
Who's that?
The projectionist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not admirable, but then you're talking about shoving an 11-year-old. You're talking about breaking into George Martin's sister's house.
Well,
just all these things.
Hey, you know what?
What?
When I'm done with you,
yeah,
you're going to wish you were back in the USSR.
I can't wait to hear this
You know why?
Why?
Because they have socialized medicine there.
Yeah.
And you can get your broken leg set for free. Well, we're pretty much at that point here now, I guess.
What's that? With the socialized medicine?
Yep. Thanks. I didn't vote for the guy.
Who's that?
Cat.
Obama?
Cat in the White House.
Yeah, the cat in the White House.
Yeah. You know what this thing means? I think we all know this. I mean, you've heard this stuff, right?
For the health bill?
Yeah.
What?
You've heard what's going on, right?
Yeah, I heard it passed.
Well, besides the death panels, you know.
Which is fiction.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You know what's happening?
What?
Congressmen, congresspeople, senators, governors, they're going to medical school right now.
Why is that?
So they can perform surgeries.
I don't follow what you're saying.
They are. It's like double dipping for them.
So that's part of the health bill?
Oh, yeah. I went to the doctor the other day, and I was like, I was kind of groggy. I had some medicine, and I look up, and it's my congressman. He's prepping me for surgery. It's like, get me out of here.
No, this is an exaggeration.
No, it's true.
No.
All right, that last part didn't actually happen, but I read about it.
This is because there's the whole thing. People are saying you don't want the government running your health your health program.
Right. I don't. Yeah.
But you're saying that literally government officials.
Oh yeah.
They're
going to like surgery school. Yeah.
Surgery.
They're going to be cutting you open.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
how are you going to feel when you're about to go into surgery and you look up and it's Barbara Boxman? You know, with her mask on. Alan Spector.
Boxer.
Who's that?
Barbara Boxer.
What's that?
You said Boxman.
That's Boxman.
Yeah, it's Boxer.
We'll agree to disagree on that, I guess. Have you even read the bill?
The health
bill? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You have?
Yeah, parts of it, yeah. Yeah.
You what part? It sounds like you've read some pretty fictional parts of it.
I've read it online, yeah. Yeah.
Where online did you read?
On this website I frequent. Yeah.
What website is that?
RepublicanTimes.org.
That's where you got the lowdown on the health bill.
That's where I get my stuff. Yeah.
So a completely biased site.
Hey, for your information,
it
was actually voted least biased site according to a survey.
The RepublicanTimes.org was voted the least. I've never heard this. Where'd you find this survey?
On a website. Yeah.
What site?
RepublicanTimesSurvey.org.
So their survey, yeah. Now, you know what? I just want to back up to something you had mentioned.
Alan Parsons?
No, earlier than the Alan. You mentioned you came up here because you were on a Beatles prowl.
Yeah.
What is a Beatles prowl? Like you out?
What do you think it is?
Because you were I would assume you're looking for merchandise, like collectibles that people have in their attics or stuff.
Well, I'm looking in some attics, but I'm actually looking more into some windows.
A Beatles. So you're looking in windows.
Yeah.
Why is that a Beatles prowl?
Well, because I have Beatles on my Walkman. Yeah.
Your Walkman.
Yeah, between you and me. Basically, that's what it is. I'm walking around with my Walkman. I'm wearing all black, as you can see, and I'm looking in windows. I see
horrible.
some incredible stuff.
I don't want to know. Milt. You are a horrible person.
No, I'm not. Don't tell anybody about this, okay? Because I don't want my wife finding out.
About Beatles prowls?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking on the radio.
Wait, what?
What?
I'm not on the air, am I?
Of course you are.
Oh. Why didn't you tell me?
I said talk into that microphone when you came in. You said, yeah, this is like the cover of Let It Be.
I thought this was like some sort of play or I don't know what I thought it was.
A play?
Yeah, like talk radio.
So you thought you called into a play?
No, I knew that was a radio station.
Yeah.
But then I guess I got confused, and when I saw this, I thought it was like talk radio.
No, you're on
Eric
on the
Boglusian.
No, you're on the radio.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to get shot now.
Like Eric... No, that's...
Or maybe you're going to get shot.
Oh, I don't like that. Where's he going? He actually just walked out. Wow. That was crazy. Ugh. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
What's he? Is that him?
Yeah.
He's looking in the window. What are you doing?
No, not.
He's on the. Oh. So that's what the Beatles prowl is like, I guess. To see that guy. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious.